to the channel. This is going to be a comparison review with Baccarat Rouge 540 Eau de Parfum and comparing that with the Extrait De Parfum, and also sharing the similarities and differences of Cloud by the house of Ariana Grande, and just kind of giving you my overall take of all three of those fragrances, which ones work best on my skin versus my girlfriend's skin, so that way you can make an educated decision on which fragrance you would like to purchase for yourself or for a significant other. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Alright, so jumping right in, this baby, Baccarat Rouge 540 Eau de Parfum. So with this fragrance, as you know, it is already quite polarizing. It's from the Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and this scent, it's very polarizing since its debut in 2014. So the EDP gives me a very spicy, ambery, seductive, sweet, floral saltiness about it. So we can just go quickly through the notes. Most of you already know them because this has been reviewed a lot here on YouTube and in Fragcom. So you're going to start off with jasmine and saffron. In the middle, you're going to have amberwood and ambergris. And in the bottom, fir resin and cedarwood. So what jumps out initially for me is the way the jasmine and saffron play around with the amberwood and ambergris accord. So it gives it kind of that salty, sort of sweet, but spicy, almost like a caramelly vibe. The woods are blended masterfully. And this, to me, is very much a unisex fragrance. And in terms of projection, I'll give this an 8 out of 10, which projects for about 1 to 2 hours. The longevity is definitely above average, 10 out of 10 for me. Going strong for at least 10 hours and up to 12 plus hours. It's kind of weird because it'll ghost you for a little while and then it'll like come back to haunt you, but in a good way. And so now I'm going to get into the Extrait De Parfum. You know, your boy could only handle getting one of these because that bad boy is expensive. But nonetheless, the Extrait De Parfum, I would suggest also getting a decant of it before you spend that kind of coin on any fragrance, but this one in particular. So my initial smell, I get a noticeably more sweet and spicy vibe with this. It's almost like a peppery, vanillic saffron, but also like a little bit more on the earthy, animalic side. But it is a spicy, bitter, sweet concoction. So the differences in this, you're gonna get bitter almond and saffron in the top versus the jasmine and the saffron in the top of the Eau de Parfum. But in the mid, you're gonna get jasmine and cedar instead of amberwood and ambergris. And then instead of getting the fir resin and cedarwood from the EDP, this base has musk, woods, and ambergris. So in the initial, you're gonna get a blast of spicy sweetness with woods. So the musk and the ambergris give it sort of like a slight animalic, a little bit more earthy, grounded vibe, while the woods and saffron play together in a well-blended way. Now the dry down of this one is noticeably more spicy than the original Eau de Parfum. This is definitely unisex, and no ghosting with this one. This one stays very present at all times on your skin. It does evolve, but it evolves beautifully. And yes, you are done with a nice, sweet, but very spicy dry down with this. So again, the projection for this one is a 8 out of 10, basically about average 1 to 2 hours of projection with this. And the longevity is also the same as the EDP, where it gives you minimum 10 hours, but maximum 12 plus hours. So I highly recommend, first of all, smelling this first and comparing it to the Eau de Parfum. So buy 2 samples if you don't want to drop the money and you want to compare them to see which one you like the most. Now the first one does have that ghosting vibe where it kind of disappears, but then this one, the Extrait, does not have that. The Extrait is also noticeably, in my opinion, more masculine than the first one. The first one is a little bit more soft, but this one has a little bit more bite to it. And that bitter almond, I believe, plays with that saffron a little bit more differently than the jasmine and saffron opening from the Eau de Parfum. All right, and now we're gonna move on to the designer bad girl of this. Now this one, Cloud by Ariana Grande, this one gets compared a lot to Baccarat Rouge 540. So what jumps out initially is the blend of the praline with pear. The lavender and vanilla orchid give it like a fresh, clean, sort of like laundry vibe. And the coconut is creamy, but sort of brightened up by that bergamot at the top. The musk and woods give this sort of like a well-blended, warm base. I can see sort of the comparison that most people feel when they smell this in terms of it being similar to Baccarat Rouge 540, but it's not the same at all. Let's just run through the notes real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. The top top is bergamot, lavender, and pear. The mid, you're gonna get coconut, whipped cream, pralines, and vanilla orchid. And the bottom, you're gonna get musk and wood. So in the initial blast, you're going to get a good dose of vanilla, floral, and sweet praline and pear goodness. The coconut and cream sort of give it like a caramelized, sweet vibe, which is where the Baccarat Rouge 540 essence comes into play. It is noticeably more sweet and vanillic than Baccarat Rouge 540. And also, it's not spicy or aromatic either. But I will say this is always very pleasantly present and not cloying. I would say this definitely leans more feminine than masculine. I think it is advertised for women, but if you're a man that can pull off a sweet, fruity floral with a nice vanillic sort of warm round base, then wear it. I mean, I believe that if you could pull off these kind of fragrances and you're not afraid to, then go right ahead and give this a shot. It's very inexpensive in comparison to Baccarat Rouge 540. It's not the same DNA. It's sort of the same vibe, but not DNA. This has a way more present praline and pear combination, whereas Baccarat Rouge does not have that. So I would say all in all, different fragrances and can all be worn for different occasions. This is more playful. You wear this in the daytime, casual, just have a lot of fun with this, summertime or wintertime. So you can wear it all through the year. But these two bad boys are more of a dressed up kind of vibe. This is more elegant, more regal, more refined, just a much more beautifully composed oriental floral. And it really does shine and reflects off of the skin at any time of the year, but more importantly, in more controlled environments such as like a place where it's cooler, like air conditioned, or if it's cooler outside, it's gonna bounce off the skin a lot more. I would caution that if you do wear it in the high heat in the summer, then just mind how many sprays you use. But this can definitely be an all year long scent. And in comparison with this and this, I would certainly say that the Extrait plays a little bit more masculine due to heavier spices, and the bitter almond kind of gives it that little bit of a vibe. This one is also unisex, but I think it would lean more feminine than this one. But like I said, this one can ghost you for like a little while and then come back and haunt you very intoxicatingly. This one stays pretty consistent through the entire thing. It does change, similar to this one. There are developments in both, but this one continues to have a nice, strong, spicy presence from top to bottom, and that's really where I see the connection of this being a little bit more on the masculine side of unisex and this one being a little bit more on the feminine side of unisex. But both can be worn by both sexes easily. But I will say this, the Ariana Grande gets a 10 out of 10 in the projection department and is nice and loud. Nice and loud for about 2 to 3 hours upon initial spray. And it has easily super above average performance. 12 hours plus with that fragrance easily. So this falls in the above average category of performance as the Baccarat Rouge 540. And the sillage on this is fantastic. It is very present and is a good arm's length away of scent bubble and leaves a beautiful scent trail. So just all in all, for the females watching this, hi. Ariana Grande seems to be way more in the feminine side than the masculine side. Both sexes can wear this, but I do see this leans a lot more on the feminine side. And also I noticed that Baccarat Rouge 540 versus the Extrait, I did notice that on my girlfriend, this performs better than this. And on me, the Extrait performs better than the Eau de Parfum. So it's a toss between the two, and I definitely, like I said, buy a sample and try it out and make sure that you're gonna like the outcome of the scent on your skin. Don't just buy it because they're expensive and everybody has it. That's not why I buy expensive fragrances. I buy them because I actually think that the juice behind the campaign and the money is worth it. So I do think that this is extremely worth it. This is also worth it, but about $100 more than this one. Maybe I'll pick up a bottle for the holidays, but definitely, I encourage you to try them out before you buy them. So anyways, in short, thanks. And also, if you find this kind of content both entertaining, entertaining, and informative, then feel free to subscribe. Also, hit that bell so that you can receive notices about this kind of content. Also, this is a variety channel, so therefore, not all the notifications are going to show fragrance videos. They'll show other videos also. But for me, mostly, you will find fragrance videos. If you visit the channel, you can go to the playlist and you can scan through and see all the content that we put out for your enjoyment. So, as I said before, if you like this content, go right ahead and subscribe. Also, you might want to like this video because it will help out with that algorithm. Thank you so much. Smell wonderful and smell as best as you can smell. I shall see you guys on the next video.